Hello and welcome to our series of short videos about finding information on the Signet database, so signetdata.com. And this is information that's freely available and open access to anyone. So it's useful to both pedigree readers who are performance recording and not performance recording, and also to commercial producers that are looking for performance recorded animals. In this session, we're going to look at finding an animal based on its individual ID or name, and also the information that's housed on the database for each individual animal. So to get started, you want to head to the sheep search and over to the quick search. And this brings us to the sheep search page. So the first thing we've got to decide is the breed that we want to be looking through. So we run down the list and select the breed of interest. And the next thing to decide is how we want to search for the animal. Have we got the animal's name, which has been given to us by the breeder, or the tag number that we're looking for, flock book number or EID number. The important thing to consider when it comes to searching based on the tag numbers is that we get the format correct, because the search is format sensitive. So to begin your search, you simply start typing in the tag number of that animal into the search bar, and it will return all the animals that match your search criteria. As we go through the tag number, obviously there's fewer and fewer animals that can match that search until we've typed in the whole tag number, and it will just return the one animal that matches that search exactly. So the next thing is to go through into the animal's individual page, and it's just simply a case of clicking on the row. And this takes us into that animal's page within the database. So what we have here is all the animal's information through the pedigree recording. So it's name, flock book number, UK number, date of birth, sex, if it's alive, dead, or been sold, breed, who owns it. So we can click and head over to the breeder page and see the flocks and their details. And we've also got the sire and dam information. And again, the same principle of clicking on that will take us through to that animal's individual page. To the right of the screen, we have the latest EBVs for the animal. So it's important to always look at the latest analysis date. So along with the chart, we present the analysis date, and this animal is within the terminal sire run. So we produce monthly runs, so each month that will be updated. So that's just a quick check to see you're checking the most recent data. That's also important if you've recently submitted data. If it's after this analysis date, then that will mean that you'll have to wait until the next run, which will only be a few weeks away in the case of the terminal sires. So what each animal will have is the EBVs listed for each of those traits, where accuracy allows, and these are the estimated breeding values, for that. So that it's always important to compare the EBVs to the breed benchmark, which allows us to rank animals and see where they sit within the breed, and we'll chat about that in one of the later videos in the reporting video. The other thing to consider is the accuracy value, and this reflects how much information is in the evaluation behind that animal. So where we're seeing accuracy values into the high 60s and 70s, that indicates that animal's been measured in a flock, with other animals measured. And then when we head up into the 90s, that's where that animal has actually sired progeny which have been recorded. So as we move further across to the chart, this actually gives a visual representation of how that animal compares and sits within the breed. So the central line is the breed average, and anything to the right of that is above the breed average. The extent of the line is how it ranks. So if it ranks highly amongst the breed, it's going to have a bar quite far out to the right. If you want any more information on what these breeding values mean, we just hover our mouse above that, and it tells us how that trait was measured and what we can use it to select for other in those animals, and what that animal can bring to our flock if we use it for selection. From this page, we also have the opportunity to print a sales chart. So you often see these at pedigree breeding sales alongside the animals in their pens. So again, it gives us the sire and dam information, date of birth. It also tells us if that animal's been ultrasound scanned in this top box. And then it gives us the kind of key traits produced for that animal and the accuracy values again. We also have the option to print all the EBVs. So the chart that we see here, if we go to the print EBVs PDF, it allows us to print that out. or we can print a 4-generation pedigree too. As we scroll down the page, we come to the animal's individual interactive pedigree. So it shows us the parentage and grandparentage of the animal, and each animal also has on its interactive pedigree its litter size. So birth type is its litter size. So for example, this animal was a twin, and the I value is its inbreeding coefficient. So that gives you an idea of kind of how related it is. So it's quite useful information. From this as well, this interactive pedigree, we can go through and select any of these animals in this interactive pedigree. So we can click on the great grandsire, and it will take us through into the animal's individual page. And again, it's exactly the same page, but with that animal's individual information. And as this animal has sired lambs, we can list those animals. So if we pick out a ram or a top stock ram from the reports, we can use that to see its progeny. Breeders also have the option to add notes and a picture to help bring that animal to life, and add a little bit more information as well to help aid your selection decisions, because that's what EBVs are all about today, is about helping inform your selection decisions and select the best rams.